Morning, welcome to Share and Torah Time. We are up to Perek Lamed Beis, where the Navi Yeshayahu discusses righteousness versus corruption. This is a theme that goes through the Navi Yeshayahu. Hey letzedek yimloch melech l'sharem l'mishpat yashoyru. Speaks here about how the king is going to be just. There's going to be a time when there's going to be a just king, and he's going to govern for the sake of righteousness and for the sake of justice. It's going to be like a man who's looking for a hideout from the wind, or like a cover from a downpour, like pools of water in a very dry area, the shade that you get from a large rock in a thirsty land. These are all metaphors of Igenatzula, like an island of salvation. So this king is going to be like that salvation that people are looking for. And the eyes of the people are not going to be closed, and the ears are not going to be verstopft. They're not going to be stuffed up. They can actually listen, which means there's going to be a king. It's either referring to Yeshayahu or it's referring to a future king when there's going to be justice back in the world, when your complaints get filed, actually somebody listens to them. The ears of the government is going to be open to listen. It's not going to be like when you go to these town meetings where you're filing and people come and protest against, how could you go make now this new development that's going to stuff up traffic. But everybody knows that it was already bought off. The developers already voted in the right officials, and it's going to be a rubber stamp approval. So they sit there and, quote unquote, they listen to all the complaints of the people, and then it comes to the vote. Nobody even responded back to the complaints of the people, and it gets passed. That's when it's not Oznei. That's when it's not Oznei Shovim Tikshavno. Levav nevharem. And the heart of people who weren't interested are actually going to understand. And those that used to stammer, those that used to stumble, are going to be able to speak clear. That means that the communication is going to be fluid. This is one of the most pivotal moments of when corruption turns to justice. When it's when menuvalim or vile people won't be called nodiv. That's something that happens many times where you have a person who's a menuvel, and because he donates money to X, Y, and Z, he's called a nodiv. He's saying, wow, Rabuni Anoged, Shenudev, Menidvas Liba Yatoiv. I don't understand, it's a novel. Why did he suddenly become a Rabuni Anoged, a nodiv? So in the Messianic age, people are not going to buy into the corruption of calling a novel a nodiv. And to a stingy person, to a miser, they're not going to call him shoya, he's generous. Again, you have a person, he's a chila, he's a stingy person. But on Levaya, the person never gave tzedakah his whole life. But Levaya, zult for the darshan, we got them stipped in my toes, and suddenly he became the most generous person in the world. So that's why is this corrupt? It's corrupt because people are trying to, there's a payoff for individuals on the back of a society. So when individuals benefit from small payoffs and cover up something which is a travesty or something which is being done wrong to an entire society, that's called the Yikore Oid the novel nod of Lichila Yom Shoya. Ki novel nevolo yudabe. Because a novel is Navolo Yudaber. He speaks Navolo. V'liba yase oven lasis choynef. Chanifo u'ledaber el Hashem toyo. Lihorik nefesh ro'e v'mashke tzome yachsid. Because the guy who's a novel, he has no issue to speak negatively about God or to empty the soul of the hungry or to take advantage of the poor. It's just always the game when there's going to be, I once saw a documentary about the effect that Walmart had on all the small villages across the United States, where they basically ended up shutting down all the mom and pop, what is it called, mom and pop stores? So basically, they came across like they're here to help the poor. How? By lowering down prices and actually supplying the poor with much better. And the end of the story was how they were interviewing people who their businesses were decimated by Walmart, but now they have to go shop in Walmart because it's the cheapest place where they could buy. So the people who ended up losing their livelihood of being respectable Bale Panosa now are living with government assistance, but they only have enough money to go buy by the people who put them out of business, and the humiliation that they had. And it's like so humiliating that you can't even explain it to anybody, because you're just a regular shopper in Walmart standing there by the counter, and guys, I'm them that Walmart is the one who made you stand behind, that Walmart set you up as Diesel's not there. Then when they present themselves that they're here to, Walmart they're here to help the poor. They're here to help the poor and the needy. So that's part of the La Yikari Oid the novel Nodiv. Anyway, V'chelav Kelav Royim. His V'klei Kelav Royim Hu Zimois Yoot V'chabel Aniyim Be'imrei Sheker B'david Evrim Mishpah. So that's really what the Navi is describing over here. How his Kalim are evil. He schemes to destroy the poor with words of falsehood, and when the destitute speak justly. But David Evyon Mishpat, it means when the Evyon comes and he speaks Mishpat, he says, hello, what are you doing to me? I'm trying to, like, but then, you know, I was once, they sell a lot of times tobacco. They sell tobacco. So tobacco comes from a lot from the Native Americans. Tobacco is a Native American, indigenous Native American, developed. The line used to be that the white man. How does the line go? The white man the white man introduced the Native Americans or the Indians to alcohol. And that's what destroyed them. In return, the Native Americans gave the white man tobacco. We can say, jeder ein, dat is schon fein Masada gewesen. Wat er aangebrengt. Wat er aangebrengt, maschke met sigarettlich, en de zaak is gewoon Masada. It equals out along the game. But the point is that you have a lot of times these companies that they sell tobacco, and they sell it like, the indigenous, they sell it like, American Spirit. They sell like these little tobacco thing. And I get very offended from it. As die was gekommen, das mich hintergebringt, das mich reingeworfen in a ghetto, in a reservation ergens. Keiner in Amerika weiß nicht mit dem Urafel, dass ich existiere noch. Nobody even knows that I exist anymore. You dumped me into the no man lands. And then you took away my land, and now you plant tobacco on it. And now you're going to sell the tobacco, and it proceeds from the, like a percentage of the proceeds is going to go to support the Native American reservation of Nahayo, whatever, I don't even know how to pronounce it. And nobody asked you to take away my reservations, to take away my land. I don't need your donation, your 3% donation, and that you should advertise that you're going to support the Native American with your 3% after us. So that's really it's a major theme over here. But a generous person plans generous act. Hu al nedivos yakum. He stands on the divos, and therefore the Navi continues telling the woman of the corrupt officials or the corrupt society. It's like the woman from the mafia. If you ever saw about the woman of the mafia wives. They were really never part of the crime family. They were just complacent women who were living the good life of husbands who were criminals. But they were never brave enough to speak up because they can't stand up against their husbands. They're living the good life right now. So the Navi says, Noshim Shananois. He says, oh, complacent woman, Koimno, Shamano Koili Benois Boitchois. Hear my voice, Benois Boitchois, confident woman. You think like everything is set up for you. Hazeinu Amrosi, listen to what I say. Yom Malshono Tirgazno Boitchois, Kicholo Botzir Oise B'liyavoy. Year after year, it's like the vineyards are gonna stop, the wine is going to stop, the harvest is not going to come in. Es kimt nicht kan get the tat, and Chirdu Shanano is tremble. Shananis is, complacent people who are like secured about themselves. The dogs are boitcho is pushed over oira v'chagoira achalatzayim. Disrobe and bear yourselves. Put a gartel sich hinter v'chagoira achalatzayim, which means it's telling you you're soon going to find yourself naked. Al Shaddayim soiftim, al Shtei Chemed, al Gevim Periya. Al Shaddayim soiftim means you beat your breast. Al Shtei Chemed, on lovely fields. Shtei Chemed, al Gefen Periya, over a fruitful vine. Al Admas Ami Koit Shomi Tale, ki al Kol Botei Masois Kirya Lizo. Here he's describing how there be thorns growing all over the place. And Botei Masois is like party houses. Kirya Aliza is like a party city, like Sin City, party city. It's like Amsterdam. It's called the Kirya Aliza. Bote Mesois is houses of merrymaking that is going to turn into a desolate place. Ki armai nuta shamoin ir uzav oifel v'avachan hoyo ba'ad ma'orois ad oilam esois piroyim mire adorim. So he's describing over here how the palace has been abandoned. That's Armoin Nutosh. And the multitude of people, Hamoin Ir Uzav, is forsaken. Then he says, Oifel Vavachan Hoyo Ba'ad Mored, the fortification and stronghold have become ruins. And what's going to be the end? Ad Oilam, forever. It's going to be Mesois Piroyim. It's going to be like a park for wild asses, a park for donkeys. Mire Adorim. That's going to be the end of the Sin City, of the party houses. Until one day, this is going to be the end of the corruption. A spirit from high is going to come down. Those dead fields are going to become fertile again. And justice is going to return. A big theme. Mishpat u'tzedakah. That's a big theme of the Navi Yeshayahu. Bringing back Mishpat u'tzedakah. V'maseh tzedakah shalom, v'avoidis tzedakah ashket v'vetach ad oilam. Righteousness and justice, v'vetach, and peace is going to remain forever. V'yashav ami ben vei shalom. My people are going to live ben vei shalom in a peaceful domain. V'mishkoinois miftachim v'menuchoi she'ananois. Uvarad beredas ayar v'shiflo tishpala'ir. Hail is going to come down on the forest in the city. It's going to extend down until the valley. Ashreichem zoyrei al kol moyim. Ashreichem, so fortunate are you who are going to be able to plant on all the waters. Mishalchei regel ashoir v'chamoy. It's a very famous line. Mishalchei regel ashoir v'chamoy. Fortunate those that sow in the waters, sending the ox and the donkey to roam freely, which is really describing a time of regular, normal life. It's like if you go to Ukraine now, you'd ask people, what do you hope for? You'd say, just to be able to walk down the street and go to the grocery, to catch a flight out of Kiev. That's Meshalchi Regel HaShoyer Rechamor. When you can send your Shoyer Rechamor peacefully and expect them to return back home without any major mishaps happening. So, it's like the ultimate goodness that we have is when life is Oilam Kimen Hogoy Noyeg, and we get to appreciate that. L'chaim.